Hi, thanks for joining a new video. Today, we're unboxing the POCO X8 Pro Max. Let's begin. For some reason, Chinese manufacturers are betting on the Pro Max surnames in recent releases, and this one has just arrived in Mexico at a price of 8,899 pesos in launch promotion, since its regular price will be 9,599 pesos. There on the screen, you were seeing prices in dollars as a reference, just to give you an idea. In Europe, the launch price is 429 euros, although in this case, this is the 256 GB version. But there is also a 512 version. Anyway, let's go ahead and take out everything from inside the box so you can get familiar with it. Remember that in this case, the POCO brand prominently features yellow as its main color, so it's quite noticeable on the box. First, we come across this small envelope which contains the key used to remove the SIM card tray. Next, we will find some paperwork. That's quite small. I would say it's just about 4 sheets, and that's all. Finally, over here, we have the case. Fortunately, it is included, so let's take a look at what it looks like. As you can see, it features a completely opaque design. It's totally flexible with semi-rigid edges, covering the basics. At least it won't turn yellow over time. It's always a nice touch to have that protection built right into the case itself. But let's go ahead and remove the device so we can also check out what it looks like when the case is on. As you can see it right now, it arrives with all the crucial details that will undoubtedly be its main highlights. In just a bit, I'll go through each of its specifications point by point, but for the moment, let's take it out of its protective covering and peel off this sticker that's right here. Notice how they are completely different. The phone feels light, like when you have it in light mode, and then suddenly you put the case on and it switches to dark mode. Tell me, how would you use this device? Honestly, it looks fine with the case. So, I find these white highlights to be quite intriguing and interesting. Personally, I would still prefer to use the device without a case, but honestly, it's not bad at all with a case either. Now, let's take a look at what else is included in the box as this device powers up. This will help us finish getting familiar with all the contents. So let's go ahead and remove this little cover, and right away we find the charger, which is indeed included, and it is also very powerful. This is certainly very good news. 100 watts charger is not something you see every day. What I'm not too fond of is that it comes with USB. I wish USB-C was available from the start for a modern experience, but the manufacturer included this connector, so the cable goes from USB to USB with an orange interior for easy distinction. The original cable is essential, as I constantly remind you, since having the original cable ensures you can enjoy the maximum power available of this charger. Alright, that's everything we have inside the box. Let's go ahead and return all these items back into the box, and then we will shift our focus directly. Cell phone itself. It appears that in Europe and certain areas, the charger is excluded, yet in Mexico, it is included. It does. In fact, in the description, I leave you a link to an official store where you can go to purchase this device. Well, we already have the device configured, so what do you think if we go to know its specifications? We found 8.2mm thick, and this is very prominent for the brutal battery that has, I'll tell you in a moment, and weighs 218 grams. The truth is that it feels quite solid in the hand, especially because of its metal frames, which also add a very premium touch to the device. On the front, we find Gorilla Glass 1, and on the back, there's fiberglass. So I must emphasize that the feel is very premium. Perhaps I would have preferred to see Gorilla Glass Victus, but honestly, it's not bad at all. Gorilla Glass also features IP66, 68, 69, and 69K. The latter two are a bit more marketing, but in general, if you have very good water resistance, the manufacturer promises its 68 IP is up to 2 meters deep for 30 minutes. The manufacturer claims to have the SGS Premium Performance certification for durability and strength, and I think the metal frames help it withstand falls well. A curious design element is that here on the back, we will discover RGB lights that we can fully customize according to our preferences. This allows us to use them as a sort of notification LED or simply to decorate the cell phone. And if it provides a different ambience when they are turned off compared to when they are on, they can even synchronize with the rhythm of the music or during your gaming sessions. So honestly, it is quite fascinating. Additionally, the screen measures 6.83 inches diagonally with its resolution, or 2772 by 1280 pixels. It is a source rate of 120 Hz. The max brightness is 3200 nits for HDR on 25% of the screen and 2000 nits overall. It features a screen that supports HDR 10 Plus and Dolby Vision content. You could say it's a high-end screen, rivaling super premium devices. The sound quality isn't bad either. There's a speaker at the bottom, another in the earpiece for calls, with a secondary output through the frame. The sound quality is mid-range but quite good. Additionally, it includes the 400 mode. Volume with extra gain, boosting mid-frequencies to be quite outrageous, but slightly losing quality. And the manufacturer states that it also offers a low volume mode, which is quite notable. I hadn't considered that before. There are numerous occasions when you want the sound to be very low to avoid disturbing others, and you could definitely use it then. The front camera has a resolution of 20 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture and fixed focus, which is the same front camera that Xiaomi frequently uses on many of its devices. Therefore, as is often the case with Xiaomi devices, including POCO and Redmi, this will likely be one of its weaker aspects. And there you are observing the comparison between the preview and the photograph that was taken. It's not necessarily a bad picture, however. Within this price range, you will find devices capable of taking selfies with better quality. I insist, it's not a bad photo, but the colors aren't very accurate, and we lack a lot of texture and sharpness in the elements, making it a basic photo. Additionally, with this front camera, recording in 4K is not possible. We can only record in full HD. This is another example of why the front camera might be a weak point, as it isn't very comprehensive. On the back, there's an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an f2.2 aperture and fixed focus, along with a 50 megapixel main camera featuring an f1.5 aperture, autofocus, and optical stabilization. The manufacturer claims they've included the Light Fusion 600 sensor here, which isn't a high-end sensor or anything like that. The ultra-wide camera is decent, though it falls short in shadows as usual for this manufacturer, especially in the X series. It appears that in the F series, the cameras have seen significant upgrades, yet here it remains basic. Let's quickly look at some examples. This is the ultra-wide camera, which performs well, though it slightly lacks in shadow areas, in thorough detail. Next, you are examining the main camera, which also appears to be of high quality, offering a good level of detail. After that, you have the 2x zoom feature, which fortunately crops the sensor to preserve a high-quality optical level. Now you're viewing the image with a 5x digital zoom, and it looks quite good. They've optimized the sensor well. Finally, the maximum zoom this device allows is 10 times, and honestly, I really appreciate the optimization. It really looks like a good quality image, and it's a rather honest zoom. Some other manufacturers might claim to support 30x zoom by just touching the same photo, but I appreciate that this manufacturer is quite honest and sets 10x as the maximum. At this level, it indeed maintains good quality. For video, if the main camera hits 4K at 30 FPS, the ultra-wide remains at full HD. So, we still lack a fully integrated experience for cameras, photos, and video. In the software, we find HyperOS 3 based on Android 16, so it is very good news that already comes factory updated, although at the moment, we do not have confirmed its update period. But note that in this case, yes, it brings some Xiaomi Hyper AI functions, such as writing functions, voice recognition, translator, among others, and of course with access to Gemini and Circle to search from Google for a complete experience. But make sure to pay attention, the battery is 8500 mAh, which is quite amazing when you consider the thickness and weight of this device. Normally, cell phones with such large batteries used to be monstrous in size, but now we have something that looks normal. It's a device that appears traditional, yet has a powerful battery. Brutal. It also supports 100 watts charging. In Mexico, the charger comes included in the box, but it does not support either wireless charging or reverse wireless charging, although you can use wired reverse charging, and it can give you an output of up to 27 watts, so it can serve as a remarkably powerful power bank. And pay attention to the fingerprint reader because it is an ultrasonic reader. Note that the registration is very fast, it does not emit any light, and of course also the unlocking will be very fast. In addition, ultrasonic readers can recognize your fingerprint even if your finger is a little wet or damp. It is therefore brutal to have this technology that we usually see only in flagship and premium devices, but to see it in a mid-range device is totally outstanding. And finally, regarding performance issues, we have 12 GB of LPDDR4X RAM with storage options of 256 or 512 GB using UFS 4.1. The processor is the MediaTek Dimensity. S, an impressive processor for this category. For context, the Geekbench results are 2,637 points in single core and 8,233 points in multi-core. This is absolutely in points for a device in 37. It is the highest performance we have seen in a cell phone in this category. And note that in Antutu in my test, it scored 20,7 lakh 8,487 points, which is pretty good. Although the manufacturer promises that it is capable of reaching over 3 million points, surely that in slightly cooler situations. It consumed 5% of battery, so as a first impression, the battery doesn't seem to perform at all well in high-demand tasks. Generally, the silicon and carbon batteries perform better in less demanding tasks. However, we will conduct those tests for the video review. For now, it is evident that this device is highly focused on delivering high power and exceptional performance. It also features the cooling system known as POCO 3D Ice Loop with a graphite layer covering 11,000 square millimeters, which will certainly aid in maintaining very high performance. For now, we've come to the end of this video. The full review will be available soon. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.